I'm really happy that this is one of the probably biggest PCPs which Dr. Natesh and team has organized for the MSc. I welcome you all for this MSc first semester. Modern science has done tremendous work over the last 400 years. Starting with Newton and Descartes, the development of science and the scientific methodology started coming up gradually and systematically. The objective is search for reality. Is there a reality from where this whole creation has come? That is the objective. So the scientific methodology of hypothesizing, yes, there is a reality from where the whole creation has come. And what is the methodology to establish this hypothesis? That is designing of the experiment and then conducting the experiments. Repeatedly conducting experiments by different people in different centers, multi-centric trials as we call. If all people get the same result, then it is accepted as the null hypothesis has been denied. That means hypothesis has been proved. Inference. Then it will go as a textbook. So this is the whole methodology that Newton and Descartes started working and doing that. And as they started doing this thing, they found that this world is so complicated. We don't understand how even an object falls down, how the rain drops, how the lightning occurs, how the thunderbolt occurs. So when such is the situation that we don't know anything about even the gross physical world, what to talk about mind, emotions, intellect, consciousness, God, goddesses, devils, pishachas, everything? No, it's beyond our compass. So let us start with simple things and start slowly understanding little bit, and do that. So all the best of the intellectuals came and the scientific revolution started in the whole world. The main objective is, already we have something put forth in the form of maybe Vedas or maybe in the Bible or Quran or anything. We are not going to accept as it is. We are going to bring the anvil of experimentation. Then only if it comes true, then we'll accept. Otherwise we will not accept. That the spirit with scientific thing started coming out. So, a simple example. Somebody comes and says, okay, in this Santosha hall, there is a bhuta. There is a devil who has come, and is causing a lot of problem, if it is said. How many of you say, no, it is not there? How many of you say, no? Raise your hands, those who will say, no, it can't be. How many says, yes, it may be, we don't know? How many of you say? No. Both are wrong, according to science. Saying that it's not there also is wrong. Saying that yes is there is also wrong. Because we don't know what is devil, what is pishacha and others, and we don't know what is subject, and whether it's here or not, we have not tested. So how can you say it is not there? This is what all of us were doing, It has been told by our ancient masters and others, so we should all say, yes, accept it. So this is the scientific approach, scientific methodology, criticality is started. And the best of the intellects all over the world started understanding this and started working in this direction. And over the 400 years, once we started understanding everything little by little, we came to a condition that there are two main entities with which this whole physical world is made. One is matter, another is energy. What is matter? Matter made of molecules, Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of protons, neutrons, electrons, fundamental particles. That's where we thought for a long time. But then came another bigger revolution, innovation, that matter and energy are not two different things, they are the same. You can convert matter into energy, energy back to matter. How? We today know how 10 grams of hydrogen bomb burnt up the whole of the Hiroshima. You can calculate how much of energy is in given mass. Suppose if I convert this entire thing, probably the whole of the Bangalore city can be burnt up. Such an immense energy, equals MC squared. All of you are aware of. And similarly, is it possible to convert energy to matter? If you have to establish matter energy equivalence, you have to do both. One is converting matter into energy, hydrogen bomb, or nuclear reactors have come. But what about this thing? Energy, how can you convert into matter? For that, we built things which are called the cyclotrons. Huge area in which the energy is circulated by a magnetic thing. And it goes on increasing the speed, faster, 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 very fast, nearing almost velocity of light. Then matter emerged. Today, in our country also, we have many cyclotrons. It's in Bhopal, in Delhi, we have. And newer matter particles are being created by doing this thing. Giving particular amount of energy in the cyclotron, you can develop particular matter. Newer particles can be created. So therefore, it is well established, not only in theory, but also in practice. Matter can be converted into energy, energy can be converted back into matter. Therefore, I remember by about 70s, everybody thought we have understood everything about matter. Then what about the laws that govern them? Newton's laws of motion, you all have heard 3 laws of motion. That is known as classical mechanics, called deterministic approach. What does that mean? If I leave an object, after 1 second it will be 32 feet down. No ambiguity. Everything is determined in the world. There is no ambiguity, there is no doubt about it. It's called deterministic approach. It is known as classical mechanics. That is governed by 3 laws of Newton, all that. Then when we went to extremely high speed, like we understood the structure of the atom, how electronic is swirling with very, very high speed, nearing the velocity of light, then they found these laws will not hold. Why? If I leave an electron, it may come down, it may go up, it can go to the front, to the back, to the right or left. In fact, an electron develops like a globe. So, if you leave an electron here, you cannot say where will be the electron here, whether it be here or here, can't say. You can only talk about probability of finding the electron here, 1%. Electron found there, maybe about 0.1%. In that corner, 0.01%. We can only talk about the probability and the equations for probability function were derived. That is Schrodinger equation. Therefore, whole understanding changed. And this is known as the quantum mechanics. So, the difference between classical mechanics and quantum mechanics, in the classical mechanics, everything is determined. Here, nothing is determined. The determinacy collapses, and it is the probability. All that we understood. Therefore, we understood the whole of this physical world. And we came to a situation where we thought, yes, now we know everything about the whole creation, reality, everything we know. Everything is made out of energy, and matter is a product of energy, and we know the laws that govern them, the classical mechanics, the deterministic approach, and probabilistic mechanics, and the quantum mechanics, everything we understand. Therefore, we don't have to know anything further, we thought. Then people ask, what about prana, what about life? Oh, simple, functioning of the DNA or any molecules. What about mind, functioning of the brain? What about emotion? Functioning of the right lobe of the brain. What about intellect? Functioning of the left lobe of the brain. What is consciousness? It is all the dimensions which are there in the body, in the cells. So everything is body. and we know the laws and structure. Therefore, we know everything. Nothing has to be known. Then the question came up: if it be true, then can you create prana out of matter? You know, if you say everything is matter, can you create prana? Can you create a living cell from your matter? Then we know the cell structure was understood. Therefore, in the early 70s, we did not have computers which are big enough to completely replicate a DNA or RNA molecule. Therefore, by end of 70, 78, 79, our computers started becoming bigger. And we were able to exactly replicate a very complicated DNA or RNA molecules. Therefore, we are all excited. Yes, now we can create prana. We can create life out of matter. And once the life is there, we can create human beings. And we can completely control their qualities, personality, everything we can control. And there was a huge number of particles that started coming. All that has started. We are going to do. Experiment has started putting those things, conjectures. Then finally, one of the articles said, once you get this capacity to create, probably you may create more Hitlers. And what's going to happen to the world? All these things. By 80s, 81, 82, 83, they created these things, DNA, RNA molecule exactly like this, and no prana was coming out of it. What to do? You started pushing and pulling a little bit here and there. Let us see. Sometimes the tube lights you put on, it is not coming. So you have to give a push. Like that, they thought that we'll do push and pull. Probably you may get the prana, you start working, can come. Right? By 84, 85, 86, 1985, 86, they all got convinced that prana cannot be created out of matter. Prana is something different. The laws of prana we do not know. What is prana made out of? We don't know. What is the difference between a dead cell and a living cell? Living cell, is having prana. Dead cell doesn't have the prana. What is the difference? A dead cell is matter. It cannot move by itself. It cannot change by itself. It cannot replicate by itself. Whereas a living cell can have locomotion, can replicate itself, and all these things. Therefore, when this thing came, then came the wonderful book by Fritz of Capra. That is Turning Point. And if you have come across this book, Turning Point by Fritz of Capra, all of you should read this book. What he did, this beautiful book came in 1983. He traced the entire history of science from the time Newton Descartes started the ball rolling, what I briefly mentioned. How we went through understanding deeper and deeper dimension and the laws, everything has been beautifully brought out in a very simple language, very effective language. Then he says, time has come that we have to go beyond the physical to understand the subtler and deeper and causal dimension of this entire creation. That's what he wrote. And then what the way? It's here that India comes into picture. It's here the whole Eastern wisdom base comes into picture, he says. And then he has told about our Upanishads, about Vedas, and many other things he has put out in the second part. About 250 pages. Everybody should read this. Then you understand how science started developing continuously in the whole encounter. Then the physical world, we had a complete understanding. We started using that to develop technology. Industrial revolution came. How to utilize this entire understanding of electricity, magnetism, and all that thing for our advantage. In the most hazardous condition, we are able to stay. And with earthquakes and such cold temperatures, Chicago, for example, with a wind factor minus 83 degrees it goes. In Himalayan peaks and in the areas like this in China, everywhere, the temperature goes down so much. If you are out for even 10 minutes, you are frozen to death. Such is the low temperature. But people started living there. We had the heaters and we had similarly very high temperature. We started doing everything we started doing. Life started becoming very easy and I don't have to talk about the technological advancement, putting man on the moon, building skyscrapers, underwater tunnel, information technology, condensing the whole globe into a single village-like thing. Everything we are able to achieve. Similarly, the greatest contribution in the medical world is development of vaccine, antibiotics, and so on. And the medical world grew to such great extent with the allopathic medicine or the modern medical system. Earlier, people were dying in not thousands, but millions. So when a flu comes, a typhoid comes, a malaria comes, a plague comes, people were dying in such large numbers. We had no solution. And it was here that we understood the germ theory, and the medical world started developing vaccines. So vaccinate the people, then right from childhood, then you are not going to succumb to these infectious and contagious diseases. So people were all thrilled with the tremendous growth. Allopathy started spreading throughout the world, and our Ayurveda and other dimensions started going backwards, and nobody bothered about these things. That is the growth. Okay. Therefore, the WHO was so enthused that we are going to bring health for all by 2000, they said. But what happened? As we moved towards the end of the last century, the pandemics of the non-communicable disease they are called today, asthma, diabetes, hypertension, heart problem, epilepsy, migraine, irritable bowel syndrome, neuroticism, psychosis, epilepsy, HIV, all this started. If it was in thousands, it started causing millions. And it's continuously growing. Naturally, allopathic medicine experts have said, let's see whether we can develop vaccines for that. It was a total failure. If it is from outside, the germs and viruses, you can do that. But all these elements are born within us. And the root cause for that is the mental restlessness, emotional upsetness, deep-rooted psychological conflict, and stress is the major killer. That all started happening. Therefore, we came to understand by 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, these are incurable diseases. And modern science has no solution. And modern medical system has failed thoroughly. Because these ailments are multi-dimensional challenge. They are not merely physical. If it were physical, we would have solved it. For example, you break your leg, you can have fracture and then you can correct it. You can put another rod and see that it is done, or put plaster and it comes back. But these are internally born. Cancer cells are not invaders from outside. They are not viruses. They are not germs. They are born within us. It is known today, in all our bodies, in a day, a billion cells get created, a billion cells get destroyed. Out of that, maybe 1,000 cells may be wrongly created cells. They are naughty children. They don't want to find anything, They want to be immortal. They are part of the cancer cells. Our immune system normally takes care of it. Because the immune system is a powerful defense within us. And anything comes out of that, they will gobble them up and then finish. Therefore, cancer, hypertension, heart problem, everything started devastating. Therefore, no solution. What is the way out? Because they are all multi-dimensional. They are not merely physical. Mental, emotional upsurges, deep-rooted psychological conflict, mental restlessness, all are at the base of these entities. Therefore, no solution. Because our knowledge is only physical. What is the way out? It's here that India comes into picture. People started looking at India, and this is what Prince of Copra wrote, and all the Nobel laureates started thinking in this direction to understand the whole dimension of this reality. Once I was giving a series of talks in Cambridge University in England. Mainly it was on panchkosha in the Taittiriya Upanishad model. And Professor Josephson also had come for a short while, and then he called me to his house. Professor Josephson got his Nobel Prize at the age of 29, youngest Nobel laureate in the world for Josephson functions. And I went to his house, big hall like this, and he went inside to bring some juice and others. I was just looking at the beautiful library with all books lined up. And I could see all this mathematics, physics, and all the related chemistry, science books, beautiful books rounded. And I come this side, I see all books on Sanskrit, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, then all texts of yoga, everything lined up here. Very nice books, Max Muller's books and others, beautifully bound books. So when he came, I asked, hey, I can understand you all have this. These books you are keeping, they're very pretty, very nice looking. No? Are you keeping it as a showpiece? He said, no. These are the books which give me direction to go beyond quantum mechanics, he said. So all the Nobel laureates, many of the people have started coming to understand what is this Upanishad. Then he said, I want to come for 1 year sabbatical from Cambridge. He came to Institute of Science. When he came here, he was taking few lectures on quantum mechanics. But what he was doing, he was studying Upanishads. He was learning to chant Upanishads. He was meditating, dhyana, everything. You were teaching him and doing all that thing. So that's what's happened. So therefore, what is that which are contained in the Upanishads? Which is the one that can give direction to modern science, modern technology itself. That's what all of you should be very clear. So our ancient masters also underwent this entire process, thinking that everything is that what matter and energy. Then started understanding what is prana and what is mind, what is emotions, everything. And they unravel the mystery of the whole creation and even beyond. What did they unravel? When they unraveled that, repeatedly experimented by number of seers, Maharshis and others, and done in different places. And they had conferences in which they were questioned, and everything was established. Then it became textbooks. What is the textbook? They are called Upanishads. So, in one of the Upanishads, called the Taittiriya Upanishad, this understanding has been brought in a very lucid way. So, how it is done is put forth. A student comes to the teacher. Sir, I want to know about that reality. Please tell me, what is that which you call as reality? That is called as Brahman. Brahman is the word in Sanskrit for reality. Then the teacher says, oh, you want to know about Brahman? Tapasa brahma vijignasasva tapo brahmeti. Said, go and do tapas, go and do experiment, find out. Then you have to unravel yourself what is Brahman. Then he started looking at him. What is tapas? What is meditation? What is experiment? Then the teacher gives him a hint. See, within you there is something with which you are all made. It's the same thing that sustains your entire life. And when you die, you go back to the same thing. Find out what that is. That's called Brahman. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti iti tad vijignasasva tad brahmeti. He said. So he goes to start sitting and doing meditation. What is it I made out of? He says, same thing sustains me throughout life. And when I die also, I go back to same. What is it? What is it? What is it? Maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, week, who knows? Then suddenly he gets surprised. I got it. Ha-bu, ha-bu, ha-bu. I got it. What? Ahamannam. I'm nothing but matter principle, nothing but Anna. Look at the body. What it is made of? Everything matter. What is it that sustains me throughout my life? Food I eat, everything is matter. When I die, go back to the ashes, again matter. Therefore, with excitement, Eureka of Archimedes, he runs to the teacher. Sir, I found it. What did you find? Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Annadhyeva kalbimani bhutani jayante. Annena jatani jivanti. Annam prayanti abhisamvishanti iti. Tad vignaya punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. Name of the student is Bhrugu. Name of the teacher is Varuna. he went to Varuna and told, this is what I have found, sir. Am I right? Teacher pats him on the back. Good, good, good. Very nice. But it's only the first step. You have to go further. Come on. Tapasa, Brahma, Vijnasasva. Do further tamas. Go deeper and do these things. So, again he thought, hey, I thought I got the reality. Just like science thought that everything is that matter and energy. Then you are going further. So again, he starts going and sitting and meditating. And on thinking, I am not the matter. Is there something different? What is it? What is it? Maybe this time he took longer. Then he thought out two bodies lying, maybe on a stage in a floor. One person is doing shavasana. Another person is dead. What is the difference? Matter is there in both. Then what do you find? Prana brahmeti vyajanat. It is the prana. I may have the matter, but if the prana is not there, it cannot be. Therefore, again he runs with joy to the teacher Varuna and says, it is from prana the whole world has come. And it is the prana that sustains the whole creation and universe. And into prana the whole thing goes back. Therefore, this is what I have sent, sir. What do you say? And Varuna again appreciates him. He had only one. Tapasa brahma vijnasasva tapo brahmeti. Go deeper, deeper. Deeper tapas. Deeper understanding. So then this time he goes. Again start thinking. Hey, I thought prana is there. So what is it? After a while, he think of a situation. The person had an accident. And he was hit in the head. He became unconscious. And he comes to a hospital like St. Imans. And the neurosurgeon, they do all the operations. And to all the family members, they say, my surgery is successful, he'll become all right, don't worry. There was a clot which was there, which is making the clot I have removed. So he is moved from ICU to normal ward. And everybody is very happy. Now he's going to come back. 5 days over, 10 days over, 15 days over. He is not coming back to consciousness. Then they went and asked, sir, what is happening? Dr. Brahma was the director. Dr. Varmaji, what happened now? You said he was successful. Now he is not coming. Yes, it takes time. It may take 3 months, it may take even 6 months, but he will come back. So, what did Guru understand? I may have the body, I may have the prana. What is happening to him? He is lying down. What is not there? Mind. Mano brahmeti vyajanat. Mind is more fundamental. Coming back to the teacher, Varuna. Incidentally, Varuna was his father. Varunam pitaram upasasara. What do you say, father? Am I right? Now it is the mind. We are all made out of the mind. Therefore, I think I am right. Mind is Brahman. Brahman is mind. He says. Go further. Go further. Tapasa brahma vijnasasva. So teachers always very easy. And students have to experiment. What it is, go and find out, go and find out, go and find out. So again he started doing the tapas. He started doing deeper tapas, understanding deeper and deeper dimensions. Maybe this time, maybe a few months. Because you are trying to understand what is beyond mind. Everything is mind. Then again, he thought of another thing in Imans. The person has come, and what's happening? He also had a problem. He has come psychiatric problem. I remember a very interesting incident that happened. We had a student who was very brilliant, and he was topping SLC first rank, PUC first rank, engineering first year, second year, first rank, first rank. He was far above others. Others would get 85%, but he was 96%. Such was his brilliance. The third year engineering, something happened to him. He started losing his memory, and he started losing his logic and comprehension. So he was getting more and more upset. Started studying more and more, 10 hours, 12 hours studying to maintain the first rank. Nothing worked. So in the examination, the worst thing happened. He thoroughly failed. Many subjects, single-digit marks. So he was so shocked. Came back to Imams, and they started giving a lot of pills. And he started taking that. He started sleeping. 15 days, 1 month, 1.5 months, he could not study. And September is coming up. He had to take the next examination. He was very, at the time, Dr. Gangadhar, who was the director. Then he said, see, why don't you try yoga? That's how he came to Dr. Nagendra, and he came over here to Prashant. When he came here, he was taking 15 tablets. All the time sleepy. And he could not, remember anything, could not understand everything. That was the condition. Then we started with the yoga. Day by day he started improving, and within 1 week he started getting back his memory. By second week he was able to understand logic, everything going very well. Third week, he had stopped most of the medicine except one tablet. He was extremely happy. He became normal. He was going out. Then I called him. See, here you learn from morning 5 o'clock up to night 10 o'clock, various practice. You got asana, pranayama, mudras, bandhas, kriyas, dhyana, cyclic meditation, MSRT, and all these things you have done. Which practice helped you most for this? Just scratch his head. Sir, I understood my mind, that helped me the most, he said. What do you mean, understanding the mind? I understood that my mind was running like a supersonic jet fighter. Supersonic jet fighter? What do you mean? Sir, I speak the first sentence. Before I speak the second sentence, there are 1,000 thoughts in my mind. Therefore, the second sentence I speak has no relation to the first. This is known as neuroticism. He was a neurotic. Therefore, what I understood, I had to slow down the mind. Manaprashamanavupayaha. Then all practice started helping me. So breathing, then the asanas, then kriyas cleansed me. Day by day, my thoughts started coming down. Within 1 week, I understood to speak the first sentence, there are only 5 thoughts before I think. Therefore, I started getting back my memory. Next week, I'm completely normal. Then Dr. Nagendra told that you don't need so many medicine, stop. I went on stopping, I had only 2 tablets. Now I'm taking only 1 tablet. The most effective thing is cyclic meditation. Because I was able to go very deep in relaxation, and when I was aware, I was just aware of the whole body doing the practice. So, what Guru understood, I may have the mind, but if the mind is uncontrolled, then you have the problem. So, it's the buddhi. That's called as vijnana. Vijnanam brahmeti vyajanat. I may have the mind, if I'm a neurotic, if I'm a hysterical person, I'm a mad person, no use. So, intellect, vijnana, he understood. This time almost sure that his father will accept, and it is Brahman, he will tell. But he said one more step. Go beyond this thing. That is the thing that started. Find out from where the thoughts emerge. And that is going to be the tapas. So this time he started sitting, meditating, and trying to find out from where the thoughts arise. One of you should try this. And mind was wandering. He could not control. Days passed, weeks ran, months started coming. Slowly, mind started coming down, coming to some control. Maybe a few years, 2, 3 years, 4 years, who knows. Then one day he had a wonderful flash. He was extremely happy, absolutely blissful. And he had gone to the source of the thoughts. The mind stayed in that source of thought. He understood. Anando brahmeti vyajanat anandadhyeva kalbimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam prayanti avisam vishanti tad vignaya. He understood that something different happened. He did not go to his father. What did he do? Saparame vyoman pratisthita. He stayed in that wonderful state of blissful silence. Mind has become silent, no thoughts. He stayed in that wonderfully. This side, father was thinking, what happened to my son? In so many years, whether he is alive or dead. Probably he came in search of the student, his son. When he found here, he was sitting, understood he had reached. He was in the state of samadhi. He was beaming with that bliss, knowledge. Then he understood that in that state, vidyate hrudaya granti, chidyante sarva samchayaha, kshiyante chasya karmani, tasmin drushte paravare. When he sees that, all your doubts will vanish. Why he did not come to the teacher this time? No? Each time he came earlier, he had a doubt whether I am right or not. But this time he had no doubt. Why he did not have the doubt? Because you can have doubt as long as your mind is thinking, as long as your intellect is operating. But when it stops, how can I have question? When you go to deep sleep, can you have question? Even in dream, you can have question. Because in dream also there is buddhi, mind, everything working. But when you go to sushupti, a deep sleep without dreams, can you have questions? No, he did not have questions. Kshiyante karmani. And therefore he had no doubt. That's why he did not go there. So this is the state of ananda. So it is a state where thoughts have not emerged yet. Every day we have that experience to some extent, sushupti. When you go to sleep, you go into the sushupti. The mind stops thinking. And you are in the state of ananda. What all people who are suffering want, doctor, give me some sleeping pill, I cannot bear this pain, I cannot have this thing. Come on, give me, so let me sleep. Why do people go for this thing? Too much of tension, I can't bear this. Go on, drink it. They don't know where they are doing, what they are doing. I remember a very interesting incident. Here in Ramnavami, in Bangalore, they have a wonderful program. All musicians of the top ranking people come. Among them, Mohaningam. Many of you might have heard. He's a great flutist. A top flute he does, people will be amazed. They are going to such ecstasy. But he was a drunkard. And that day he had to come, 7 o'clock he had to arrive, he was in a nice hotel there. And normally it will take only 10 minutes to come. Everybody went there by 6:45 to bring him. He was not there in the room. They started searching. They asked the manager of the hotel, sir, he went by 6 o'clock, he went somewhere. We don't know. He has not come back. Everybody was worried. There are 5,000 people waiting for his concert. 2.5 hour concert. They started searching here, there, everywhere. 10 volunteers also jumped in. They all started saying what he found far away, about half a kilometer. He was lying down in a gutter. You know. They woke him up, brought, gave him a bath and came. At that time his fruit was the best. You know. He went into that thing. So, this is the state of silence. So, state of silence. But that silence is a state of what Patanjali called as samadhi. In samadhi, the mind becomes one with the thought. Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasa swarupa shunyameva samadhi, it says. Dharana dhyana takes you to the samadhi. In dhyana there is a single thought. So in all our actions, whatever we do, there is the subject, there is the object and the interaction. Now you are taking food, you are there, the food is there, you are eating. You are doing some computer operation, you are there, computer is there and computer operation. Even in meditation, the meditator, the meditated and the process of meditation is there. When the three things merge together, it's called samadhi. So when he was searching for the thought, from where the thoughts are emerging, his mind became completely silent. And he stayed in that silence long. So parame vyoman pratisthita, vast, infinite, expansive thing. He just stayed. And that is the state that Guru got. And therefore, what he understood, that we are not just the physical body, we have got the pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya kosha is the state of bliss, ananda. So, a question comes, whether this anandamaya kosha is our sushupti. Does it mean that we all should be sleeping all the time? You know? Sushupti gives you a little glimpse. It is still, there is the seed. That seed also has to be burnt. That's why the Upanishad says, Vidyate hrudaya grantihi, chidyante sarva samshayaha. It is not a state of tamas. The mind has become silent. It doesn't mean that mind is absent. When you go to deep sleep, the mind is not vanished. It has not become zero. It has not gone into the highest Brahman state. Got a little glimpse, that's all. So then the mind comes back. It's in the seed form. We all have the experience. Imagine tomorrow morning I have to catch the flight. Flight is at 6 o'clock. From here I have to leave. It will take 2 hours. I have to reach there by 5 o'clock. 3 o'clock I have to leave. And you keep the alarm 2 o'clock. You have to get up. And because the alarm rings, already this alarm rings. Go up. So how does that happen? Your mind is clocking. So the mind is not absent. So in the so-called normal sushupti, the mind has not got into that silence. You get a little glimpse at the ananda. When you drink alcohol, you have gone into the unconscious. You take a sleeping pill, you have gone into that sushupti. The mind very much is there, but it is in the potential form and is bound to come back. So it is in the seed form. That's why a question is asked by a student in the Upanishad. So when you say it is silent, in Sushupti, it is Brahman. Why do you say it is not Brahman? So Shankaracharya explaining that in his Bhashya, he says, Bija Nidrayata Pragnaha Sa Chaturyena Vidyate, explaining the Mandukya Upanishad. Don't think that Sushupti is the ultimate. You have to go beyond the Sushupti. Because in the Sushupti you have all your traits still remaining in the potential form. All your karmas, or Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma, are still existing in that. All your personality traits are hidden in the form of seed. Take a rice seed, put that. When it comes out, the paddy that comes gives you that particular rice. It has all the characteristic of that particular thing. It can be basmati rice, it can be normal rice, everything is in the seed form. You have a seed, a mango tree. What variety of mango? It can be Alfonso, it can be Malgova, it can be raspberry, it can be raspberry, everything is hidden in that thing. Similarly, in the Sushupti, all our personality traits is very much present in the Sushupti. So Sushupti is not Brahman ultimate, but it gives you a glimpse, what should be the Brahman. So you have to cleanse, you have to purify. So the bija which is there consists of all this personality trait, has to be completely cleansed. When you purify that inner thing, then you go into that ultimate reality. That is beyond Sushupti. In Sushupti also, you go into the Samadhi. In Samadhi also, it's not a single state. When you deal with Raj Yoga, I know. But they talks about 8 types of Samadhi. 8 dimensions of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Then 8 types of Samadhi. Vitarkanugata Sampragnat Samadhi, Vitarkanugata Sampragnat Samadhi. Vicharanugata Sampragnat Samadhi, Vicharanugata Asampragnat Samadhi. Then Asmitanugata Sampragnata, Asmitanugata Asampragnat Samadhi. Anandanugata Sampragnat Samadhi, Anandanugata Asampragnat Samadhi. He describes all these things. How to go there? Everything has been described by Patanjali. When you go deeper and deeper Samadhi, what happens? Your Ananda increases more and more. Ananda increases 100 times more, 100 times more, 100 times more. Now you go deeper and deeper and deeper. In the real pure Anandamaya Kosha, when you have the Brahma, the creator Brahmasthi, this thing is 10 to the power 20 times the best Ananda that we have. In Ananda Mimamsa, they have a measure of Ananda putting there. That all has been described so wonderfully. Then this forms the whole Jagat. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. All these 5 layers are in continual change. Individually, it's called Vyashti, microcosm. Each one of us have 5 bodies. The conclusion of the Upanishad is, don't think that you have only this physical body. You've got Pranamaya Kosha, we've got Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. We all have 5 bodies. Similarly, for the science, Upanishad tells, don't this entire thing is only the physical world. Physical world, as you say, is the electromagnetic field. Then more pervasive than that, subtle than that, is the bioplasmic field, the pranic field. Then we have the mind field or astral field. Then we have the information field or the intellectual field, Vijnanamaya. Then much bigger than more pervasive is the bliss field. All these 5 fields in continual interaction. Just like we have 5 bodies, all are in everything. Something happens in the mind, it brings changes in the body. Something happens in the body, it changes every kosha there. Therefore, there is a continual interaction of our bodies, continual interaction of the fields. Individually, it's called as Vyashti, and this entire thing is called the Samashti, micro and the macrocosm. The laws that govern them is same here and there. What are the laws that govern them? Srushti, Sthiti, Laya. Creation, sustenance, and destruction. There is a small ant, there is a huge Brahma, creator Brahma. Everybody follows it. Lifespan may be different. So everything is governed by the trifold law, Srushti, Sthiti, Laya. Creation, sustenance, and destruction. So this is what our ancient masters understood. And therefore, this entire creation is called Jagat. The word Jagat in Sanskrit comes from the word Jagatyan Jagat. That which goes on changing and changing and changing is called Jagat. That's the nature. All our bodies are continuously changing. The whole universe is in continual change. All the 5 fields are in change. Therefore, there is a very big Buddhistic philosopher, Nagendra. He wrote a big thesis based on this concept that everything is changing. He called it the Kshanikavada. Kshanika means it comes and goes, temporal. So it became the biggest hit in the whole community, in the whole society. Everybody accepted it because it brought such tremendous logic, beautiful, mathematically precise thing. Nobody could compare it. But after a few years, he had a very brilliant student. He came and asked, "Sir, we really marvel at your wonderful Kshanikavada that you have put, the thesis that you have brought, the hypothesis that you have formed, which everybody has accepted. I also accept. But I have a question for you. Yes, if everything is changing, is there something that does not change?" He had no answer. He kept mum. Then the later group who came, that brilliant student and many others, they said, "It is silence, it is zero, it is shunya," they said. That's called shunyavadis. Among the Buddhists, you have got Kshanikavadis and shunyavadis. But when Shankaracharya came, he said, "No, this cannot be shunya. Look at this Jagat. This is a fantastic world, infinite world. Can it come from a zero? Impossible. It's against any logic, anything. Therefore, that also should be infinite. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. This is Purna, that also should be Purna. This all panchkosha that we're talking about is Purna, infinite. But that, from where this comes? What is the relation between the two? Purnat Purnam Udachyate. This Purna, this Jagat comes from the Purna. That is called Brahman, ultimate reality, pure consciousness, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite freedom, infinite knowledge. And from that comes this. When this one comes out of that, what happens to that? When it becomes a zero. You have 100 rupees in pocket, you give it to Natesh, your pocket becomes empty. X minus X is zero. Will it become a zero? No. X minus X zero is the law of the finite world. Infinity minus infinity can be infinity. Purnasya Purnam Adaya, Purnam eva avasishyate. That Purna remains untouched. That Purna is infinite. And that we all are. What we are? That we are Brahman. So that is the ultimate reality. So, our knowledge base, we are thinking we are all this body, has to be changed. We have 5 bodies. All these 5 bodies are changing. They are interacting with one another. They are governed by the law, trifold of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. And our original state is Brahman. It's called Parama Atman. That is common to all of us. Swami Vivekananda called it as divinity. Each soul is potentially divine, he said. We are all that infinite. That's our original state. From there we are born. So, this is the panchkosha viveka given by Taittiriya Upanishad. So that which is beyond panchkosha is beyond space, time, causation. It is beyond mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. So it is beyond the stula, sukshma and karana, shariras. Therefore, in that sense, we are all one. Because it's from Paramatma, the ultimate self, that we all are born. Therefore, Swami Vivekananda, when he was addressing the Parliament religions in Chicago, he addressed sisters and brothers of America. There was such an applause. When he was doing, he was not doing it as a sales gimmick or a marketing tool. He was just condensing the whole essence of our Indian culture, Upanishadic base. We are all really brothers and sisters. And therefore we are all born of that ultimate reality. So what the goal of life? Swami Vivekananda said, the goal is to manifest that divinity. Bliss, knowledge, power, freedom, all has to be developed more and more, more and more. And that's what yoga is meant for. Yoga helps us to rise from our normal level, become great human beings, superhuman beings, divine human beings, ultimately reach that divinity itself. You can work through the intellect through Jnana Yoga, or work through the willpower Raja Yoga, or work with the emotions Bhakti Yoga, or you can work through your action Karma Yoga. Swami Vivekananda brought all these four streams, which have been elaborated in the Upanishad as prakriyas, methods. In the panchkosha Viveka, Bhrigu understood how we have to go. Similarly, in different Upanishads, different approaches are given. There are thousands of Upanishads, but 800 Upanishads are in print. But the most important are 10. Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundaka, Mandukya. Aitriya, Taitriya, Prashna, Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka. Brihadaranyaka is the biggest. Smallest is the Mandukya. Mandukya talks about the Avasthatraya Viveka, Omkara. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and beyond. Akara, Akara, Makara, and Om. That is the entire Upanishad. Therefore, you can choose any one or two or all of this and get at these things. That's what Vivekananda said. Therefore, this is the basic thing that we have to understand. That original state is pure reality, pure consciousness. It does not change. It is infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite freedom. That's what we are all. But we have forgotten that. And we have become completely body-minded. But then it says, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhiniveshaha, kleshaha. We have forgotten that we are that infinite thing and we have done this thing. It says abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is complete body orientation, even beyond. An interesting episode to describe how we have forgotten everything, how avidya has crystallized, how we go into the abhinivesha. There are two people coming in the car. There's a very narrow bridge across a river. Only one car can come. Therefore, they have put thing there. This car was coming. This car came. It started entering in. It was coming almost 1/3. This fellow should have stopped until this goes. But this fellow is very rajasic, super. He started coming very fast. He started coming here. By the time he came 35%, he came 65%. And both of them stopped. This driver comes and says, hey, you have seen me coming in. Should you not stop until I go? Please go back. The second person also has come out. See, I understand I'm wrong. But you see, let us be practical. I have come almost 65%. Let us save time. Just go 35%, I'll go very fast. Then you go. This fellow, no. Law is law. You have to go back. This fellow, no, please go back. The thing came. Both of them were like, you go back, you go back. You go back, you go back. When they say you go back, what did they mean? What did they mean? When he says, you go back, means what? Your car has to go back. You have identified with the car, not only the body. When you say you go back, your car has to go back. That means you have become car. Similarly, when you say, who are you? I am this body. Therefore, I tell my name. You have identified with a name. Forgetting what it is. This is called abhinivesha. How abhinivesha comes? Because of the avidya, wrong notion. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha comes up. And that is the thing that has happened to all of us. And there we have to remember and remain again. And through various methods, we have to go back, get to their original. This is the goal of life. Therefore, Swamiji gave understanding this panchkosha concept, understanding this entire world is a 5-layered dimension. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya koshas. Each one of us have 5 bodies. and all these bodies are in continual change, and that which is beyond is our original state. That is the knowledge base we have to get back, and for that we have to cleanse ourselves. It is easily said than done. I say, okay, sit quietly, silently. Not even 1 minute, mind will sit. No? So Guruji took such a long time, years and years, to do this thing. So we all have to do this thing, go into that complete silence and stay in that silence longer and longer and longer. You know? How long? You know? Can you stay for 1 full day? Can you stay for 5 days, 10 days? Ramana Maharshi sat there. Months rolled, years passed. He was in the state. He get into the state of Sahaj Samadhi. You know? Because you have to overcome all the muck that we have accumulated. You know? And we have to purify ourselves. We have a number of granthis and other samshayas, everything has to be purified. That's what you have to do. So that is the whole essence our Indian wisdom base has given us. They are called as the Uttara Mimamsa of the Vedas, and how to bring it to practice in the Pura Mimamsa, Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. That's a different subject altogether. Therefore, let us get to this understanding of this entire panchkosha and beyond. The reality is beyond the panchakoshas. Panchakoshas is the entire jagat that we have, entire creation that we have. We are all part of that creation. We are all really brothers and sisters in that sense, and we all should be moving toward these higher and higher dimensions of human existence. So, thank you all very much. And if we have some questions, please keep it. And then in the next session, we can take this.